Hello, I'm Goliathan from Incredible Mayhem, and I have orbiting this beautiful sun at the center of the Kerbal system is a probe. Now, apparently, some people at Mission Control decided that they wanted details on how the sun works, so they built this amazing probe, and we are going to drop it into the sun. Because, hey, what's a game where you can't have any fun or blow anything up? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and extend these solar extend our communication antenna so that we can beam back data until we violently explode. So our orbit doesn't quite take us all the way down. Our periapse is still about 121,000 kilometers, which in real life is plenty more than enough to completely annihilate a spacecraft and vaporize it, because it is well within the sun's corona and it would be probably hundreds of thousands of degrees, if not millions. So we're just going to add a quick maneuver node. It'll be 790 meters per second until we burn all of our fuel, so we'll fall into the sun as fast as humanly possible. Alright, so our maneuver node, since we are at such a long orbit, there's the planet Kerbal, it's going to take us 8 days. But with the power of time acceleration, hopefully it won't seem like that long. Apparently I have something caught in my throat. So if we weren't going to fall into the surface of the sun, we would really get out there. But since this isn't a black hole and it has, like, oh, we missed our burn by 8 days. Typical of me, alright. But it doesn't matter because we're only trying to crash into the sun. And there we go, all is left is just us and the satellite core. And let's turn ourselves like that. So we'll use the bottom of the spacecraft as a heat shield to protect these communication antennas so they can continue beaming invaluable information all the way to Kerbal Space Center and back. Alright, here we are. We are only 164,000 kilometers above the surface. But if this were real life, at this point we pretty much would be vaporized. There wouldn't really be a lot left keeping us alive. This spacecraft must have incredible heat shields. So we'll continue to do this at 100 times time acceleration. We can watch that enormous orb loom closer to us. So I believe once it gets down below 35,000, it'll stop the time acceleration automatically, so that we should be able to watch ourselves explode. Yep, time 50, 10. Let's turn off this so we can watch ourselves explode. So we're probably picking up a lot of energy though on those solar panels. In fact, they're probably picking up too much energy and they're probably going to melt pretty soon. There's a few sunspots over there. So this thing would be incredibly bright right now. If this were real life, we would not be able to look at it because our little eyes would melt. Also, we would melt because turn on this thing for a second. We're only 40 minutes from our periapse and we are and boom, we have exploded. Only 34 meters. So we have actually crashed into the surface of the sun. And let's press escape and take a look at our flight statistics here. It exploded due to overheating. And 23, 19, 12. So that must have been more than 34 meters above the surface. If we go to our space center, look at that. We've covered over 1 billion meters. As far as ground distance. No, is that a decimal place? If not, we've covered over 1 trillion meters. So that is what happens when you crash into the Kerbal sun. You die, as you do when you crash into the real sun. In fact, we got about probably 100,000 times as close as we could realistically, because even in the sun's corona, the radiation coming off the surface of the sun is so hot that once you got within roughly if you got less than 1 million, let's say less than 1 million kilometers, you would pretty much vaporize without some sort of magical bubble shield. But since we don't have bubble shields, we know that Kerbal technology is extremely heat resistant. Until next time, I'm Goliathan. Salute.